taking that one to Rich?
Phil,
Rich, I know.
that's as far as it goes.
All right. My mom gave me more cord than this, Phil, really?
So many jokes you could have about that. Cord in your mouth. This is a question actually for Tim. You mentioned that you're an America First
Yes.
Republican. Those words are interpreted in many different ways. How does that, your understanding and what you are, how does that affect your opinions around international affairs, around Israel, around the Middle East, Iran? I'm not suggesting this is a good war or not, but
Yes.
those kind of things.
Well, far too long we've been the world police. We spent our blood and treasure protecting other people's issues. I realize some of those were for maybe the actual spread of communism or socialism, but maybe some of those were misguided. I'm not sure, it's not for me to say. But when we look at the amount of money, the hundreds of billions we spent with NATO and the UN to watch them have caviar parties while they don't step up for their own protection. You look at President Trump, who finally made NATO and the UN spend the amount of GDP that they were supposed to protect their own alliances in their own area. That's one area. The 177 countries that we're spending out of there's 193 countries in the world, 177 through aid or other alliances are on the US payroll. Those dollars need to be spent here. The American jobs need to be for Americans. There are America First policies and America First principles. When we look at trade agreements, the tariffs were a mixed bag, but the president's always playing 4D chess when I watch it. And I only understand the first two moves, but he was putting America first for the first time with countries that have been taking advantage of us with a trade deficit. We're a net importer with as big a country as we are and as active as we are in our trading, but it was imperative to get us on a more fair footing. So finding someone who's putting our interests first, not kowtowing to foreign interests, those are my America First policies. Policies that think about how does that affect us, not how does that make us a good neighbor, how does that make us someone who is liked by our allies. It's finally time to be respected by our allies and get a fair trade for American workers and American people.
Before we do that, that's great, thank you. So everybody, it's a shot, to about a minute and a half.
Ruthie.
Okay, this is a question for Tim. You did mention a candidate. I'm from New York, the red sections, not the blue. I do not want Florida to become like New York City. You did mention a candidate with Islamic background. Can you give us his name and any kind of information about him?
It rhymes with Dr. Nizam Razak. Yes, from the medical thing. He is one of the biggest funders of the growth of the Islamic Center of Orlando. He's given hundreds of thousands to take it from 24,000 to 65,000 square feet. His brother's on the board of the Islamic Center of St. Pete. His wife only gives in her political donations to Democratic Muslims. He has multiple Muslim charities, and if you look at his promotional materials, it literally says, I learned to read from a Catholic nun, reading the Bible, that's how I learned English. He says he's Indian, which implies Hindu. He is hiding the fact that he is decidedly very Muslim. And I don't know who said it, by bullets or by ballots. They're definitely looking to infiltrate one way or another. And there is a grooming, just like with socialists. It was Democrat, and it was Democrat when it was progressive, and Democrat socialist, and now they're about communists. I get it, there are some wonderful Muslims in the world. I'm not an Islamophobe, but phobe implies fear, and watching what's happening around the world in Europe, you don't see, and back to your AIPAC question, back to your Israeli question. Israel is one of our greatest allies. There is a new movement of young conservatives that sickens me, absolutely sickens me. That there's this whole big new thing, Israel's the boogeyman. Hey, 5,000 years of being it, I'd be sick of it myself if I was Israel. But it's time to realize, not only do they have our shared faiths, they're the birthplace of our shared faiths, but they're one of our strongest allies in the region. They're an amazing trade partner for defense and technology. If you use ways to get anywhere, they created ways. Agricultural tools that we use across this country. Israel is a great ally in every direction, and they must be respected. We must have some mutuality. And Israeli funding, by the way, the military funding we give them, the Memorandum of Understanding, is to buy American weapons. It's not a gift. So it's important to know where Israel stands with the United States, and they don't control us, I promise you. I've met President Trump many times. Nobody controls President Trump.
All right, so I've got a question. The Tim, this is for you. So, right now the Republicans, we have a Republican president, we have a Republican Congress, and there's gridlock, okay? This is a huge problem, I think, because if we don't achieve our objectives, and one of them is to save the voting thing, okay, for example, that Trump wants to pass, he can't get it through Congress. So, question, you may not know the answer to this question, but as a congressman, and again, I realize you're only one small individual in this massive legislative group, but what do you think you could do to facilitate passing some bills so we can have some record to go on, so that people in the next election will say, look, you guys, you had 4 years, what the H did you do? Okay? That's the question.
That is a great question. We'll start with the Save America Act, because I love the fact that it takes more ID to get into the villages than it does to vote, and that's really something. So it did pass Congress, the Save America Act, and the president wants it. It's stuck in the Senate right now with Leader Thune, who for some reason won't put in the judges, he won't do recess appointments, and he won't break the filibuster. And Senator Thune, do you think the Democrats would be as kind to us? They would ram it down their throats the way they did Obamacare. So one person, that's a good question. One person by the name of Anna Paulina Luna was the first one to stand up and say, you know what? I got one for you. We won't pass any more Senate bills when they come back here out of committee until they pass the Save America Act. And they put this new housing bill, this new housing equality bill on the president's desk, and he said, no, not signing it. They need to shut down. There needs to be some gridlock until the Senate comes to their sense. The president has already primaried 4 of the old bad people out and said, hey, Thune, you're next. Get with the program. The House needs to stand up to the Senate, but I am disgusted along with you that there's gridlock, because we have a majority of everything right now. The Democrats of a minority can still pass bills. Why is it when they have a minority, they can get things done? They fight in the streets with broken bottles and chains, and we're doing this Marks of Queensberry rules of 1845. We need to fight when we get up there. So I'm going to go up there and make a lot of noise. That's what I plan to do.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have a question for the other gentleman? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, hi, I have a question for you, Mr. Loomer. Money is very important to try and get our quality of our education up. What other things would you work on besides the financial aspect?
Would you repeat your question, because I
Well, other than money, financial aspects, what other?
yeah, I think that when they recruit new teachers, for some reason they seem to go for college and recruit young people. I think they're looking at their own people. I think that we've got the best retirement village in the world. Why aren't we looking at people who are 60 to 65 who have many years left in teaching and are looking for places to go? I think that the place that you need to look are teachers of the year who are in that higher age group that are great, proven good teachers, instead of going to the colleges where teachers come in, they work here for a couple of years, and then they go off. Does that make sense to you?
We all started there.
Yeah.
I was an educator, we all started as that teacher out of college. We have a major shortage of educators. Nobody wants to do the job.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but so that's why I say let's go for the experienced, quality teachers who are looking for a place where their husbands can golf and where they can still be with the kids.
Okay, thank
Or
you,
the
Julie.
wives can go.
All right, thank you, Julie. I have one question for the county commissioners, and this is a short one. We, right now, is pending a bill, some legislation being proposed on property taxes. which impact directly funding for counties and cities, that type of thing, impacts all of us, okay? So, in a short answer, and you can say, what the bill that is pending, that you know about, is it good, bad, or indifferent, or you still not decide about that? And then I'll get to Jeff. Go ahead, Matt, you first.
Personal opinion of it?
Yes, sir.
I feel like it's a distraction. Yes, we want less taxes. Yes, we want to own our homes, but I don't think we're actually ever going to get to own our homes. So that is the thing that I want to rebuke, is the myth that if we did this, you would get to own your home. That's not going to be the case. It's something that is like a weird little cherry on top that's only kind of half true. You're still going to have property taxes, and even if we did find some clever little way to get rid of them, they're going to find a way to ultimately always have their thumb on the scale to be able to take their property from you when they want it. And we don't like that. So in my opinion, I like less taxes. I want only to pull in the taxes that we need to do the bare minimum. But personality or personal opinion, I don't like the weird little story that they're trying to tag onto it to make it more sellable. But I do like the opportunity for less taxes. Thank you.
Okay, so just on the record, the legislation as it is presented right now, if you were sitting in the chamber, would you vote for or against it?
I would vote for it, to be honest.
Thank you.
A little farther away.
So would I vote for it as it stands today if it came before us, if I was in the state legislature? No, I would not. It doesn't have a plan to fulfill the obligation of funding the communities.
Can you give it a Cliff Note version as to why not?
So the reason is, the bill as it presents says to reduce property taxes for homesteaded properties only. It doesn't give us the funding on how to pay for things. It'll directly affect communities like ours. Our community is extremely lean run. We are very tight bone. We have a tremendous number of consolidated services, no duplicated services like some of these large facilities or large counties. And so all this bill does is says we're going to cut money this way. We're going to mandate you to use the dollars you collect on these 8 items, and it does not give us a way to fix it. Basically, Governor DeSantis, who I have been a tremendous supporter of, but on this one he's wrong. He dropped Mike and said, let the counties figure it out. And at the end of the day, money doesn't grow on trees. I'm a Republican. Less taxes, smaller government. If this gets voted in, we have got to figure out how to operate on less taxes. That means, and I'm not going to fearmonger, come to our July business or workshops. We're going to be looking at opportunities, how we can figure out to spend less money and try to keep the same services, or what services we can reduce. I would not vote for it simply because it's not a complete plan.
All right, folks, let's see. They're going to be around afterwards. We have the room till about 8:30. So I invite everyone to just do a one-to-one. Diane, do you have a moment to come up and share this? Thank you, guys.